Hey folks, it's Ray with Taste Radio. Right now I'm honored to be sitting down with the legend, Dan Aykroyd, the founder of Crystal Head Vodka. Dan, so great to see you.
And you, sir.
Yes, you have a bottle and I have a bottle. Everyone has a bottle of Crystal Head Vodka, or they should, because this is a pretty outstanding vodka and a really remarkable brand. The one I'm holding in my hand is your Pride Expression, your 2023 Pride Expression.
That's
which is
right. Yeah.
Dotted with, it's a beautiful, beautiful package, dotted with a whole bunch of splotches of paint.
Yeah, spattered to represent the various colors in the LGBTQS movement, and Pride, around the world. Thank God that there's some support and awareness out there in a tasteful way that doesn't ram it down people's throats. We offer this up as sort of a tribute to the I guess the arduous path that some people have had in terms of expressing themselves, coming out sexually with their gender. That shouldn't be a painful process. That should be one that's easy, and it's not these days.
100%. And this is the second edition of your Pride bottle, right? You had one last year.
The
there it is.
Bottle's quite nice, but we wanted to represent more colors there. And so, yeah, it's fun. Then we have our Onyx, which is the agave tequila. The agave vodka. It's what I mean to say is agave is, of course, what they make tequila out of. And we've done a vodka distillation on this. The notes are long and earthy on the finish. Then we have our corn. Here's the Party Head 1.5. You'll see that in bars in, Ibiza and tropical hangouts around the world. We do not go out and do advertising for college kids or youth under 25. We're not at Corpus Christi or Destin or Fort Lauderdale with a big trailer and handing out shots. This is a premium vodka for people between 25 and 75 or 85 or 95, and it's priced so that you have to be fairly prosperous to buy it. However, it is an affordable luxury. It's only 45 more cents a drink than some of the leading premium brands. And what you're getting is a great package and a fluid that we take great care of manufacturing. So between $50 and $60 for a bottle for the 750 milliliter corn, it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting.
I would 100% agree. And you used two words there that I want to touch on, package and luxury. With the most recent edition of your Pride release, it actually feels like there's a kind of a combination between Damien Hirst and Jackson Pollock in so many ways. But obviously there is no association with Damien Hirst. But this package is really recognizable. I think anyone who saw this in a liquor shop or a bar back would know that it's Crystal Head Vodka. Talk about the inspiration behind not just the brand, but the package itself. And, I wonder, how did retailers think about this? Because this literally, might have a hard time fitting on a shelf.
To answer your last question first, no problem. It's a standard size bottle and can fit on retail shelves, and it looks great on bars. Back up in behind bars, lit up for our corn and then our wheat. We put a light under them sometimes, called an illuminator or a glorifier in the trade. And as far as the origin of the bottle, I have a good friend, John Alexander. You can do search on him. He's a Texas artist. His work is spectacular, and we've been very old friends from Saturday Night Live days when the lady that I was dating on the show, Rosie Schuster, dumped me for him. And we became great friends, Johnny and I. And I was in Canada. I was visiting from Canada down in New York City. One night, almost 16 years ago now. And I was telling him about how I had brought Patron tequila to Canada. That's what got me into this. The spirits I just wanted a better tequila to make a better margarita on my dock at the lake in Canada. And I asked JP DeJoria, my friend, can I get some cases shipped up? He said, well, Dan, you've got to bring it to the whole country. And I said, well, let's do that together. And so he made me the importing agent. We brought Patron into Canada. There were only 2 other brands of tequila you could get, and we opened up the whole luxury tequila market there across the country, and it's now remains 10% of sales of luxury tequila, Patron, and it's love that. Bacardi bought it, so I'm no longer involved in it. But that got me interested, and it got me started and looking around. And well, what's the biggest category in the world? That's vodka, 50 billion in sales a year. I'm thinking, well, if I were to do a spirit, if I can get a slice or sliver of that type of business, it might work out okay. So I'm looking at vodkas. I'm trying them. I'm tasting them. One smells like Chanel No. 5. One of them tastes like, I don't know, nothing. And then one's as rough as a cat's tongue. And I'm going, well, geez, why? And there's some of them are over viscous. I say, why are these unpalatable? I don't mention names. And of course, went to research the fact that all kinds of additives are put in there. Limonene and sugar and glyceride are added. Now, not enough to kill you or hurt you, and they go into a lot of alcohol products. And I thought, imagine stripping all those oils out of there. What would you have? Well, you'd have a pure spirit. And Alexander and I were talking about Patron, and I had this idea in my head for this pure spirit. And he said, well, I've always wanted to put a tequila in a skull. And I said, well, I have Patron in Canada, as we're discussing here. That would be betraying my friend JP. I couldn't do that. But I said, I know what to put in a skull bottle, because I had it in my head already, this stripped down spirit. So I said, draw me up a sketch, and I'll come back to me in a couple of months. He turns around in 2 minutes, he draws up this bottle with the grin, with the little smile, beautiful cheekbones, the canted back. The spout doesn't look as good straight up and down. You have to have a little cant in it. Now, that's bad for machine fill, because we had to have special cradles made at quite expensive special machinery so that it could be filled and we keep the cant in it. What the factory wanted was for us to have the spout straight up. But no, wait, it doesn't look as good, you see? So he designs that. And I said, I know exactly what to put in that. I look at the sketch, and I could make me a mold. He makes me a sculpture. And from there, we were off to begin this journey, which has taken us to 80 countries now. It's probably sold, I would say, if you count the minis and everything, between 20 and 30 million bottles.
Wow.
Of all our line and around the world, yeah. And it's been really, really fun. We used to travel to the distributors and the bars and retail places in a Freightliner tractor, which I bought. It has a... It's like what you'd see pulling race cars. And so we had wonderful time. We painted the vodka on the side of it, the skull. It looked like a delivery truck. I love driving that thing, too. It did 90 miles an hour. Turn on the infrared light at night, and that turbo diesel whistled, man. And we got all around the country. And, that's what makes these brands. It's interpersonal relationships with importer, vendor, distributors, retailers, bar owners. And I have friends now that I'll know for life from this business. Whereas in the picture business, you only know them for months, and I'll know these friends for life. And so it's personal contact, getting around. We did signings at some of the stores where people would line up and bring bottles and memorabilia. Those were always fun. And commitment to it. And that's what really makes a brand. And then, if you've got the fluid, the quality to back it up, you're going to have a hit like we have. The fluid is clean, and people love it. It's won awards. Our notes on the corn are sweet vanilla, dry and crisp. Our notes on the wheat are the Sunset Wheat Vodka we make in the mirror finished bottle. Those notes are pepper, anise, a little spice, and our notes on this are long and earthy on the finish. So we would be nowhere if it weren't for the fluid in the bottle. People are drinking it and they're going, it's the real thing.
So the package draws them in, but the liquid keeps them buying.
I would say so. If we wouldn't be alive after 15 years, I guess, and in 80 countries if they're just buying the package once.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'd read in an article, a profile about you, that you have a reputation as being a good salesman, a great salesman.
How am I doing?
Well, it's interesting because not everyone is a great salesman, and sometimes a brand on its own can be its best salesperson. But I feel like it's really helpful when someone enjoys the process and, like you said, develops the kind of relationships that are the long-term backbone of a brand. How do you become a good salesman? And I guess, would you agree that with the premise that you are a great salesperson, and how do you become one?
Well, there are a lot of techniques that other people have written about more convincingly than I might be able to. But I think an ebullient personality helps, and a good voice, so you can be heard in a room of 300 or 400 people, and I guess confidence in yourself, and no wandering of the eye. Look people in the eye. Really good salesmen can basically sell anything. A good salesman, it doesn't matter what you give them, they can sell anything. I don't think I can sell anything, but I know I can sell this product and this vodka because I have confidence and faith in it. I don't know, some salesmen out there might not have confidence or faith in their products and kind of doubt that they're of quality, and they're selling them anyway, and they're doing a good job over history's time. But what makes me, I think, effective is that you can see that I know about the industry and what was added to these fluids in the past and what I have taken out of it and the impact that it's had on the consumer. So I'm aware that I'm vindicated by removing these fusel oils, having a pure spirit and a great package, and winning awards and being worldwide. I can sell all of those as attributes and as real benefits to publicizing the product.
And publicize
I got a lot of help here.
Yeah. Well, and publicize that you are promoting the brand on social media. I think if you Google Crystal Head Vodka, your name comes up pretty quickly. Although, and maybe I'm wrong here, I feel like the association between Dan Aykroyd and Crystal Head Vodka isn't as, I guess, apparent as that of, say, Casamigos and George Clooney, or The Rock and Terramana. Am I accurate in thinking that?
It's not. And that's good, because if you ask our consumers, many of them, I would say 2/3 of the consumer does not know I'm associated with the brand. So that tells you that it's selling itself. The package is selling, the fluid's selling. I'm a good, effective spokesman as company, one of the managing partners. I'm a good, effective spokesman for my brand and my company, but the brand is not relying on me to do that. They could do it. I could step away completely, although I'm enjoying it. I could step away completely, and it would not hurt the brand, because it's selling itself by virtue of its quality and then package appeal. Yeah.
But when you are promoting it, I wonder, how do you use your celebrity and promote the brand in a way that comes across as authentic to consumers?
By meeting the consumer, by actually going out and saying hello to them, meeting them. We go to government liquor stores, we go to big chains, and we'll do a signing and we'll publicize it. And I will sign bottles for as long as it takes to go through a line of between 600 and 1,000 people. And I'm able to see what other beverages they're buying, whether they're older, whether I get my full demographic array there. They're coming, they bring memorabilia for me to sign, and that, and they're coming because of the celebrity value of being there. But I'm able to actually interface directly with them and see who is buying my product. Professionals, what economic range, gender, all of it, is available to me as an active survey when I do these signings. So that's how I use the celebrity, is to go and actually meet the consumer, find out who they are, and then we can go and target a little better. We have a big following in sort of the heavy metal community, the skull, I guess. And so, we know that we've got some good friends in the bar business and heavy metal bars around the country that have consistently consumed us and supported us. And so that's where we're going to send our love to the people who love us.
There's another brand that's pretty well known and beloved by the heavy metal community, and that's Liquid Death, the canned water brand that's been on fire over the last few years. Although there's been some controversy around the brand because of its name, its association with, I guess, some outrageous kind of ways of being, for lack of a better phrase. And I know there was some controversy around Crystal Head Vodka in that there was an association with death and alcohol, or maybe not an association, an implicit one for sure, but one where people were wary of, using a skull to sell liquor.
Well, I'll tell you, it was one person. The only one person had. Well, now there's some people who just don't like skulls, and they're not going to put them on the bar or their store. But officially, and in terms of an authority that was purchasing from us, there was only one person who felt that. Well, first of all, it's got a grin. It's a happy skull. It's a head. I don't call it a skull. I call it a head. There was one person, president of the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, and he was afraid that it would appeal to youth too much, and there would be a component of traffic accidents that would be a part of that. Now, to that I say, well, you have to be a prosperous youth to buy it, and we don't pitch to youth. We don't pitch to youth. We're someone 25 to 75, and I say you go home with 5 friends and consume this. You don't consume it alone. We've been very responsible in our advertising. And basically when he left the office where he was working, we were able to get the product in fairly quickly after that. So that was the only official buyer who had a problem with it, because he thought that youth would buy more of it. But it's expensive for youth to buy. It's 50, 60 bucks a bottle. We're an affordable luxury, but we are a premium product. Only 45 cents a drink than your leading premium brands. We're only 45 cents more. So you're getting a great package, and you're getting fluid that's guaranteed to be clean and good tasting, because vodkas do have taste now in our profiles, as I said: sweet, vanilla, spicy, anise, long in the finish. You're getting that, and you're paying, as I say, 45 cents more a drink than the next premium brand down. So it's not bad. It's an affordable luxury to step up and treat your friends and impress people with how you can throw the skull like a basketball.
Oh, geez. Be careful. Anyone who just saw the video just saw Dan Aykroyd toss a head, into the air.
Yeah, the head, or head or skull, but sometimes I call it a skull. But anyway, bartenders can throw John or June up in the air. They don't care.
John or June?
John, yeah. John, this is John. Here's June, here's John.
Oh.
John and Junie and Johnny, throw them up in the air.
Be careful. It looks like you have a nice room that you're casting from or recording from. I don't want you to have to clean up any glass later on.
Yeah, this is the Zoom room in the town here, downtown, near the lake, Lake Ontario.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
The price of Crystal Head Vodka might be prohibitive for some younger consumers, but I feel like it's pretty attractive to strategic companies, the large conglomerates, the large beverage alcohol suppliers out there, in that you have a premium price point, you have a loyal following, you have a well-known and well-recognized brand. Yet, and correct me if I'm wrong, Crystal Head Vodka is still an independently run company. Is that correct?
Well, there are 4 partners. Myself as the originator of the fluid, John Alexander as the originator of the bottle, our senior executive, Jonathan Hemme, who has a long history in the spirits and wine business in Canada. He runs our company, and then David Brown, who, like me, is an ex-postie. He's an ex-postman. So the 4 of us own the company, and it's effectively managed. We haven't gone into our line of credit. It's very healthy, self-sustaining. And again, though, here this is rare, because this is a partnership of 4 individuals going on like 16 years now, almost 16 years. And in business, that can be comparatively rare. We are there with goodwill. We still have fun, and we've got a lot of room to grow, which is great. And we're going to do it with all of our allies and friends in the next 3 to 4 years. We should see consistent, significant upward trends, even in the face of the fact that beverage alcohol consumption is declining in millennial and Gen X a little bit. There are economic headwinds everywhere, such as the COVIDs that pop up in the world. But I think we've survived so far, and there were 6 vodkas that came out when we did. I don't name names of any other products, but there were 6, and You'd know one or two if I did name them, but they're all gone now. They're all gone, and we're still here, and there's a reason for that, and that people are cracking it and tasting it and loving it. Yeah.
It is amazing that you've been in business for 16 years and that, again, you've stayed independent, even though, by independent, I mean not aligned with a strategic company. And I'm sure there have been overtures, and I'm sure there have been companies knocking on your door asking, hey, can we do a partnership? Hey, can we buy your company outright? What's kept you from doing so?
Number one, you sell a brand, and then you've got a pile of cash, but then you don't have the brand anymore, and you don't have the fun, the camaraderie. Also, we frankly believe that it can grow more and it can be worth more as time progresses. We think it can be worth more, and but I think it's just because we're having fun with it and meeting some great people and meeting challenges every day of being in a very, very competitive industry without having to be a pay or play. We don't go into bars and pay. You want to buy us? We'll do pours, we'll do subsidies, we'll do extra bottles, but we're not going to go into a bar in New York City and pay 10 grand for a month's placement. We don't have the money to do that. A lot of the other brands do put their money there. That's quite an outlay for them. It's quite significant, and so we'd rather do subsidized pours. We'd rather do programs, tasting programs, hire another ambassador, for instance, in the world to go around. So we're allocating our resources within a very well-run company.
What makes it a well-run company?
I think our executive team, for sure, and the goodwill we generate in the world. We don't go in there. We're not screamers. We're not bullies. We're just good Canadian guys who want to have a little fun and build our business, and we're honest about that. And I think that again, our executive team is superb. I can supply the public relations and media piece and mouthpiece quite effectively to those who want to listen and those who care, and then also direction on strategy. We all weigh in on strategy, and Jonathan covers with the executive team, administrating the office and going to all the bar shows, and so it's very effective. And for now, we're just gonna keep growing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not involved in the day-to-day. That is the role of your executive team, your leadership team. But it sounds like you do have a significant hand in addressing strategy or concerns with strategy when you feel the need to address those concerns. Has there been an instance where you said, you know what, I don't think we should be doing this, X. We should be doing this. And how was that received?
We've been in harmony on all the major decisions. We have, quarterly meetings, and I check in with the team, one or two of them, at least 2-3 times a week. I go up to Toronto to the office and go in there when we do our annual videos. So we have a meeting then. We've been in harmony on pretty much everything. I don't think there's ever been an idea that came up that the four of us didn't just like and say let's go for it, because we're all aligned sort of in intelligence and psychically, I guess.
Well, it may help that two of you are former postmen. I didn't know that about you, by the way.
Yeah, David he walked a route, and I drove a mail truck for a contractor in both Toronto and in Ottawa and Toronto. I love that job, man. I love that job.
I in this country, I think it sounds like a nice job in that you'll have a job and you'll have pension, but it seems like a very boring one for some folks.
Well, I grew up in Ottawa, Canada, and at that time I had shoulder-length hair, and I'd bicycle, and even in the winter, bicycle the 5 miles to the truck garage. And in the winter, I would have to sit there and start the truck, if I could get it started right away, start it up and let it run for at least 45 minutes before I could even touch the gas before it's stalling out. So that made it interesting. There was driving in all kinds of weather. And, back then I'd light up a little J there to start my route. And, I drove high for the Queen for years because I was a Royal Mail courier. Yeah. So, you're sitting in the seat, you're getting in, and that's it. THC and CBD, I found can relieve certain physical situations in the body, aches and pains and that. So I used it back then. Now I'm allergic to
You don't use it anymore?
Well, I sneeze when I smoke it, so like multiple times, yeah. But I like the good smell of it, and I think, everything in moderation again. Everything in moderation.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were a postman in Canada, the first thing I'd want to do after I was done with my route is sip on some whiskey. Canadian whiskey, of course. Mm-hmm. You guys are getting into Canadian whiskey. Is this right?
We have yes, we have a whiskey called Signal Hill. It's sold in Canada and I think somewhere in the States. I'm not sure. Again, it's a beautiful product. It's a rye, and it's from old stock that's been sitting around for years. We were able to find this beautiful aged stock, and that's where we started with it. And it's going very well. It's brown spirits consumers are very strong these days. Everybody says, that in terms of the profession and, sophisticated bartenders, everybody in the sophisticated bar chef arena there, they'll come back and say, well, I've got a lot of vodkas on the bar. I like a brown spirit. Vodka's not exciting, but I say, well, a vodka that has no additives might be exciting as a professional bar chef to you, because you're going to add everything in there, Fernet Branca, Saint Germain, citrus, lemon, grapefruit, orange juice, emulsified sugar, Red Bull. You're going to add all kinds of things to vodka. So why not have a clean slate to start with? And that I would say that logic has punched through to bar chefs worldwide, that they love Crystal Head because it's the virgin canvas in which to pour all of these other mixes and all of these other additives, because there's no additives in it, and they're starting with the blank slate. So you have to, if you're going to have vodka, every bar's got to have a vodka on it. So why not have the clean premium taste, the affordable luxury of Crystal Head? That's my argument. You got to have a vodka on there anyway. Why not? It's only 45 cents more, $1.50 a shot maybe, 45 cents more a drink than some of the premium vodkas that are below it. So and there's a good margin there for you.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Going back to the Canadian whiskey, is it not branded as Crystal Head at all? I mean, is it a separate brand entirely?
Separate company, separate company. Yeah, it's called Signal Hill whiskey, and it's there's no skull bottle and no direct, I would say, fiscal association with Crystal Head. It was funded separately, and it's a separate entity that Jonathan, our CEO, has, and I have a small share of it.
And is it a sort of test to see, whether you can go beyond into other spirit categories as well?
Well, certainly we're doing very well with it, and we'll see. But for now, people ask me, you want to do anything else? Well, I'm in the vodka business, and I'm also in the. People say, what about flavors? And I'm say, well, I'm in the vodka-flavored vodka business, and I'm. You're not likely to see the head come in flavors, because then we would compromise our purity story. We would compromise our clean story if we were doing flavors, because then we'd be adding oils and all kinds of things that would compromise our beautiful filtration, which gets us so pure. So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, one person who I would assume has to sign off on the taste of your product before you really, really know that its quality is your Ghostbusters co-star Bill Murray, who I think knows a thing or two about quality premium spirits. Is he a fan?
He's a whiskey guy.
He's a whiskey guy, so he likes Signal Hill.
I think he would like it. I don't know that I got it to him this last round when we were together. I don't think he's tried it yet.
Well, hopefully the next time you guys are on the vineyard together,
maybe I'll stop at duty free on the way across the border tonight and pick it up.
It's funny when you think about celebrities and promoting spirits or promoting anything for that matter, but when they own the brand, it's almost incumbent upon them to use their network to get other people to drink it as well. So, for example, you'd say, oh, it would be great if Bill could help promote Crystal Head Vodka. But it's not necessarily the easiest ask unless they have perhaps a financial interest in the company, is it?
I would say we've had some friends post, on Instagram drinking it, that type of thing. You can, if they like it, and they tell you they like it, and I say, well, put it up on your Instagram. You're taking a shot. That's as far as we would go with that. Yeah, but we do occasionally. If someone that's of notoriety or fame knows that they like it and genuinely likes it, I say, well, put something on your Instagram or your social media where you're pouring a shot of it with the skull. So.
Well, once again, this has been a real honor for me to sit down with you, Dan. Thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on everything you've built with Crystal Head. I hope it stays independent for a long time, because it does have a beautiful, wonderful cachet, especially given that it has been independently run for 16 years.
Should the day come when we partner with someone or an acquisition, I shouldn't really say this, but they'll make their money back fairly quickly. With say, an expanded sales force and some resources put into it, they will make their money back. Well, if we're looking at a 9-figure sale, 1, 2, 3, 4, they'll make the money back within 18 months to 24 months because of the margins of this product, and with resources put behind it, it can be even more huge than it is now. Massive it can be. So, but we'll see. But right now we're holding on to it. We're having fun.
Well, if Diageo bought Casamigos for $1 billion, then hopefully, what your selling price would be if you do decide to sell should be, I think, significantly more, right?
Again, it's a choice. Not so much the money, but who can make the best of it. Who is the best partner to take it to the next step? And that depends on personal relationships. I love LVMH because Salma Hayek is an actress, and she's a colleague, and I love that concept of maybe getting a luxury company like that to partner with us, because we could do great things because of the design. See, the design is very, very strong.
Absolutely, I'm happy to have one, and once again, I think that this has really been a great conversation, and once again, Dan, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
It does look like Jackson Pollock, that spatter, doesn't it?
It's Jackson Pollock-ish, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be part of the LGBTQ community to purchase that bottle. I think that the fluid is the same, so you'll love it. Of course, we encourage everybody to buy us, but yeah, that's just looking at that alone. Even if you didn't know of the association and the support there that our company has for the movement, you'd say, oh, Jackson Pollock spatter. Yeah, it's good. That's again was Johnny's consulting on that, Alexander. Yeah,
absolutely. Actually, I forgot to ask you one question. It's a bonus question. Our CMO asked me to ask you this. He said, please ask Dan Aykroyd, are you a god?
Small G.
Okay.
Small G.
Appreciate you answering that.
Yeah, very small G, yeah. Small G, lowercase, okay?
Small G, lowercase. Got it. Yeah. Well, Dan, safe travels. Thanks so much again. I hope to meet you in person someday.
Okay, cool. Well, if you're in Boston, that's not hard.
Yeah, stop by our office anytime. And
take care, man.
We'll share a dram.
All right. Bye-bye.